Hello YouTube. So every few years, probably a little bit longer than a few years, but I like to replace my sockets every now and then because they kind of get, I guess, spread out would be the way to put it, and that can cause, stripping of bolts and stuff like that, which you definitely want to avoid. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. So this is probably one of my most used ones, the 21 and the 19. But you can see how they kind of get a little wore out, and that can cause some issues, which we definitely don't want to happen. So I will probably retire these and bring them home, or maybe give them away to a friend or my daughter, depending on who wants them. But the thing with buying socket sets, it's really hard to find a set that includes every single socket. You can see I'm missing some here and there, obviously. But let me show you what I got here. So I went out of my normal a little bit, and I found this Boen kit on Amazon. And the reason, let me show you exactly why I bought this. The reason why I bought this is because it includes almost every single socket that would normally be missing, and it starts at 9 millimeter, which I've never had an impact socket go lower than a 10 millimeter. So that's going to be kind of neat. I probably will never use the 9 millimeter, but just to have it, it's kind of neat because I've never had a impact 9 millimeter before. But yeah, like I'm saying, it pretty much includes every possible socket that you need. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, which hardly ever comes in a socket set. 21, 22, you barely ever see a 23 in a socket set. 24, 25, 27, 30, and 32. And then it comes with some extensions. And then it's also got the 3/8 inch adapter and then a swivel as well. But it also comes with the smaller sockets as well. Same count on the numbers, but the thing that they don't skip, any. This is gonna fill up my rail. I don't have to look for any other ones and buy them separately, which adds up to more than usually what the kit of the sockets cost you. So for the price of this set, it was absolutely amazing to get both short and extended sockets. I think this kit, I want to say, was about $70. I'll put the exact price on the screen once I edit this video, but I want to say it was about 70 or $80, which just blows me away to be able to get all of these for that price. Again, the reason I'm changing them is just because my sockets are getting kind of old and wore out. They're Husky sockets, and I've had a really hard time dealing with Husky on warranties. And having a hard time dealing with warranties is something that I definitely don't want. You guys are used to me. I do a lot of Harbor Freight products, so to be able to walk into the store, replace my product, and walk out, that's a big deal to me. But Boen, let me see. Boen does have their lifetime warranty. They offer you a lifetime warranty. You got to activate it when you get it. And I think at that point, we'll see how their warranty goes if I need to get to that point. But something I noticed in here, which I've never seen before, this is kind of neat. It's got a little torque value reference for you on the different size sockets. So it kind of gives you an idea of how high you can take these up to before they're going to maybe crack or become a problem. But looking at these values, these sockets will definitely cover everything that I'm doing. As far as auto mechanics go, should definitely hold the torques. The Boen are the ones in orange. They're comparing them to other sockets, but I think that's going to work out really good for me. And then again, the reason I'm changing them is just out of mine are getting kind of wore and tore. Plus, I'm missing some that I don't want to buy separately. I'd rather have them all in a set because it really adds up when you start buying separate sockets that you're missing in your rail. And buying one socket is rather expensive compared to buying a whole set, honestly. So by the time you buy a couple separate sockets, you could have bought a full set with all of them in it. One thing that I really do like about these, and I'm hoping that it doesn't become a problem, but these are rather thin-walled compared to my other ones. Let me see if I can show you here. This is the 19, wait, this is, yeah, 18 millimeters, so, nope, that's the 19 millimeters. Sorry, it's hard for me to read. So let me show you the size difference, which I'm really going to like this because I have a problem getting some of these are the Huskies. I have a problem getting some of these onto some lug nuts because they don't fit in the rim. So I'm hoping the thin wall will be a little better for me, and I'm really hoping that they're as strong as those are, according to their description and their torque values and stuff up here. They should be just as strong, if not stronger. So I'm going to put these through some vigorous testing. I'm going to see if I can crack them. I'm going to see if I can break them. I'm going to, try my best to give you guys the absolute best opinion on these that I can, as I do with all the tools that I test out. So we'll get some shots of these being in use over the next little while, and then I'll post this video up. But let me get some usage shots on these for you first. We'll see how they work out. I got my fingers crossed on these. I really like the set so far. And then the high visibility number, that's really neat too, but I think those will wear off pretty quick. You can see on my other sockets, you can see how quick that I get them to where you really can't read much anymore under there. So you see how all the black is gone on that. But one thing that, again, that I'm really going to like is them being more thin-walled, because a lot of times when I'm getting lug nuts off, I've got to go down to my silver sockets because these won't fit into the wheel. So I'm hoping that these make a big difference. And I'll get some good usage shots on them. We'll see how they go. And then I'll update this video. We'll go from there. So just to show you, I've never had this rail completely full. I've always had a couple empty spots here, like say the 25 and the what was it, 23 and the 20. Those are usually not in here. So I've got a full rail on stubbies and a full rail on extended sockets, and then I've also got my 30 and 32 over here on the stubbies, and 30 and 32 on the extended sockets. So that's actually really cool. That's the first time I've ever filled up this rail, so to me that's pretty neat. And yeah, eventually I'll work on getting a set for these two. I've got one picked out already, because these are getting kind of loose too. So, but that's down the road. We'll do another video on those, and then I'll also do my 1/4 inch drives eventually too. But I really like that. It's the first time I've ever had this rail completely full, so I think that's pretty cool. Well, so far I gotta say I'm definitely pretty impressed. You can see I've put them through some usage already. I haven't been able to get many action shots because most of my clients have been sticking around. But I was doing a Acura MDX timing the other day, and I don't know how many of you are familiar with Honda timing, but the crankshaft pulley bolt can be very, very difficult to get off. And I actually have a special socket for that. This is a 19 millimeter weighted socket. It's about 1.5 pounds. And then I also use my Hercules Ultra Torque, which is 1,400 foot-pounds of pressure. These did not get them, so when that happens, you have to use a tool to stop the crankshaft, and you can see that this socket doesn't fit into the tool. So I had to use this 19, which in my opinion these seem really, really thin, but it held out just fine. And if you don't know how that works out, you've got to hook this tool up to the crankshaft pulley, and then with your socket you also need a really big breaker bar, and then I also use a cheater pipe along with that. And it takes all the force I can muster to pop those loose, and this thing did not even crack. So far they're doing really good. Really impressed with them. I will definitely try to get some action shots because I haven't been able to so far, but you can see that I've put quite a few of them to use already. Usually mostly from 16 to about 21, 22 are like my most used ones, and then usually the 10, but I don't use the impact 10 all that much. So, but I'll try to get some action shots on these as we go up. So far, I'm definitely impressed, and they did really good with the Honda crankshaft pulley bolt. So, and that's, to me, that says a lot on them right there. So far so good. So these things have been doing really good for me. I haven't been able to get much usage because my clients have been sticking around a lot, so it's really hard to video. But let me show you what I'm talking about the thin wall in here. Now, normally on these Subarus, my Huskies were too thick to fit in there, so oftentimes I'd have to get a silver socket. But these fit really good, and so far they've been really strong. The only thing that I have noticed is I think these numbers are gonna wipe off rather quickly, but on the back side it is also written on there, so I might figure out a way to make those brighter. I've seen some videos on people do that, so I might try to do that. Anyway, yeah, I'm really happy with these so far. And what was the other thing I was gonna say? I've also used these with my Hercules Ultra Torque, which is 1400 foot of breakaway torque, so they haven't had any issues at all. So I'm running the 30 millimeter on my Hercules Ultra Torque. This thing is up to 1400 pounds breakaway torque, so let's see. No problems on that one. Let's try the other side. Okay, oh whoops, I gotta take that cover off, hang on. Alright, let's give this one a try. Same thing. No cracking, no breakage. So far I'm really impressed with them. Alright, got a rusted up CV shaft nut here. Got one of the 30 millimeters. I got the deep socket 30 millimeter, and I'm using my Ultra Torque. Let's give this a try. No problems, no cracks. Looks good. Okay, so I did run across one issue finally on these. I've been testing these out for quite a while now. I know my video isn't, you don't see the length of time on my video, of course, but I've been putting these through some vigorous testing for sure, and they're holding up to everything I'm throwing at them, definitely. There is one issue that I've had with them so far, and it could be a problem, maybe not, because it's not that often that I do it. But I had an O2 sensor the other day, and I couldn't get it off with either of my O2 sensor tools. So what I did was snipped the wire, and I was going to use the deep well 22 to get it, which usually isn't a problem. Usually you can slip that on there and get it. However, it wouldn't reach all the way. So what was happening was the top of the O2 sensor was stopping the socket, so it wouldn't reach the nut part of the O2 sensor, so I could not get this on the O2 sensor, whereas my Huskies I could with no problem at all. It would slip right on. So that could be a little bit of an issue, especially if you do a lot of O2 sensors and you're used to cutting off the wire and just busting them loose with a socket. You wouldn't be able to do that with this. So that is one thing, one downside that I have come up with these so far. But besides that, they're doing awesome, definitely. And you can see I've really been beating them up pretty good. My 19 is my most used, and you can see what I was talking about with the number. It's getting a little dull already, but again, they're written on the backside. So even if that wipes off, it's still on there. And there is a way to put some paint on here and brighten these up. I've seen videos on YouTube, so that's something that I might do in the future. But these are holding up really well. I've really, you can definitely tell on this one. I've been beating it up. I've been using my Ultra Torque with them. I've been using breaker bars and extension poles with them. I'm really testing them out for you guys to see how they do. If this was home use, these things would probably last you your life. So that's where I'm at so far. I really enjoy them. I really like having them. I like that they're thin walled and just as strong as my Huskies were. So far they're doing really good, and you can see I've used quite a bit of the stubbies too. And they're all doing just great. I've used the 30 and 32 quite a bit on axle nuts, and haven't had no issues with those at all. No cracking, no breaking, nothing like that. So that's my opinion on them. I'll try to get a little bit more action shots with them, but it's been, like I said, a lot of my clients hang out, so it's really hard to video when they're here. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up my review on these sockets. It's been a while. I haven't been able to record as much as I wanted to with use with them, but they are holding up really well. Actually, I've used them quite a bit. You can see there's a couple that I haven't used, but I've really beat them up, definitely. I put them through some really vigorous testing on the ones that I have used, and they're holding up great. I was really worried about the thin wall. I mean, they're not labeled as thin wall, but to me they're a bit thinner than the ones that I had before, my old Huskies. But yeah, they're holding up amazing. I haven't cracked a single one, and I've tried really hard. I've used my Ultra Torque on all the ones that you can see that I've used, and man, they have held up just fine. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and finish up this review. I wish I had gotten more action shots for you guys. It just wasn't possible for me. My clients hang out here a lot. It's a very inviting shop, and a lot of people they'd rather just stay around here than go do something for an hour or two. So it makes it hard to video a lot of stuff. That's why I don't have a lot of videos on YouTube. Over, I think it's a 4-year span, I've got like a little over 300 videos, and totally should have more, but I don't, and that's okay. I do what I can. But as far as these sockets go, I'm really happy with them, and I will do an update on them sometime down the road and let you guys know if I have any problems with them or anything like that. But they're doing absolutely amazing, and I think they're gonna make a great addition to my shop. So that's my opinion on them, and I hope that helps you guys.